Greg Pickel and Dustin Hockensmith, we're back here on PennLive.com talking some Penn State 2017 recruiting. And this is more a theory or a concept than it is about, it's about CJ Thorpe, the four-star guard from Pittsburgh Central Catholic, a Penn State legacy recruit, a really, really good player, committed to Penn State a while ago. He decided that he's going to take his visit. You get 5 of them that the other schools will pay for. I have no fault with kids who are going to take him up on those offers.
No.
He is expected to take a visit next weekend, which is the weekend of January 27th and 28th.
Yep.
And will be on campus this weekend coming up with all the other Penn State commitments. And I guess the question, Greg, is do you have a problem with a kid who's committed to one school and will visit another? He says it's all innocent, but the threat here is that he somehow gets blown away by a school. It's not out of the question.
Yeah, you know, I think most of these videos go where I'm supposed to take the opposite side of you, and then we argue about it for a little bit. But I can't.
No, that's news to me. I didn't know that.
Oh well, we weren't going to do it, so there's no reason to know about it ahead of time. But I think that people do get worked up about these things. They do get frustrated with the fact that a kid that's been committed to Penn State for as long as CJ Thorpe has suddenly wants to get out and take visits. Guess what? He sat for a whole year and watched other top-rated Whitfield prospects, other kids in Pittsburgh, ones that play for his own team at Pittsburgh Central Catholic, take visits, get to go on these all-expenses-paid trips, and now he decided, I'm 99.9% certain I want to go to Penn State. Maybe I should just make sure, and hey, also sounding, going to UCLA in January is not the worst place in the world. Hey, I heard Michigan does a really good official visit rollout for 48 hours. Maybe I'll just go check them out and be sure. And since I know I'm sure, this is more of just me taking my trips and experiencing the recruiting process. I can see why people have an issue with it. I personally do not.
James Franklin doesn't like it. I think
he likes hosting kids committed elsewhere.
He does, and it's the inherent hypocrisy, it's the inherent flaws in the whole recruiting process. A verbal commitment, you can scoff at it a little bit because it is not binding in any way whatsoever. There's reports this week of Randy Edsall at UConn pulling the scholarship who had committed to the previous coaching staff. It is a messy game out there, and just like any kid in college, any kid going through the recruiting process, you have to take advantage of any advantage you have in that process, because once you sign and once you go to a school, they're getting a whole lot more out of it than you are.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, I think what it comes down to is that if you get excited when Penn State hosts a kid committed elsewhere, you can't be mad at the kid committed to Penn State who wants to visit elsewhere. I just don't, the logic isn't there to support that theory. It doesn't work that way. Let these kids take their visits. If you want to make the argument that if you think you're going to want to do this at some point, then you should wait to commit, I might be able to relent to that. But at the same time, how does CJ Thorpe know when he commits to Penn State, almost a year ago at this point, that he's going to, have these official visit opportunities to take in January? How does he know Tom Bradley is going to have a spot, the scholarships open at UCLA, so he offers him a trip to come visit UCLA, same with Michigan. So I have no problem with it. I really don't. I can understand why people do, like I said, but again, if you like when Penn State hosts a kid committed elsewhere, getting upset when the Penn State commits go somewhere, it just doesn't work that way.
Here goes Greg Pickel in rare form here on PennLive.com. We'll talk plenty more Penn State recruiting in the 2017 class. Join us, PennLive.com/Penn State Football.